Hi guys, today I'm going to show you the first things to set up when creating a virtual server. So I've just set this up in VirtualBox, so we're just going to log in and show you what to set up. So I'm just going to log in for my local details I created when I went through the normal sort of setup of a Windows operating system. So I entered in the local admin password, etc. So we'll just enter that in. So that's the first screen you'll get. It's just going to prepare my desktop and bring up all the services, etc. So we'll just wait till that logs on. It shouldn't be too long. This virtual machine currently has a gig of RAM. So really the first thing you want to do is set a static IP address for this server. So if we go to start and then to run, and then you want to type in ncpa.cpl, enter. So that'll bring up your network connection, and depending on how many NICs or network interface cards you have in your server, you want to set a static IP address for each, depending on your setup, whether you're going for a teamed LAN or just a single NIC. So in this case we've only got one, so we're just going to set an IP address for this. So you'll want to set it as your private, whatever your private LAN's on, whether it's on a Class A, a Class B, a Class C network. So mine is just going to be 192.168.1.3, and then you want to set your subnet mask, so whatever your subnet mask is. Then you want to set it as your router or your firewall. In which case, in my case, it's my router. So we'll set it as 192.168.1.1. Preferred DNS server. If you're going to set up this server as domain controller, you will enter in a loopback address, so 192.0.0.1, because you'll be querying your own DNS to find the IP address, but we're going to leave that for the time being. We're just going to concentrate on the IP address details. So you've got 192.168.1.3 as my IP address. I've set that. I've set the correct subnet mask for my network. Default gateway, I've set my router. You may well set your firewall, depending on what setup you have. These are just basic details which I've set up and configured. So we'll just go ahead and close that. So now we want to activate our server, in which case I won't be activating this particular server, but of course if you are setting up a proper business server and you'll need to activate it, and you do have an activation key, of course you'll go here, you activate your server. Okay, third thing you want to do is change your computer name, because as you can see you've got a default computer name as with Windows 7. Windows will go ahead and they'll create you a random generated computer name, which will be completely useless to you in a business scenario, because you'll be querying this server for information and you don't want to be entering in this server name, and it looks extremely untidy. So we'll go ahead to advanced system settings within system. To get here you can go start, right click computer, properties. Alternatively, you can go to start, run. You can type in the command there. But to get onto the settings, you just go to right click properties. There we go, done. So it's advanced system settings, and you can find your computer name here. So and you want to straight away change this computer name. So and you want to probably change it to the same sort of naming convention as your other servers or what you're creating. So say you worked for MI6, you'd go MI6 server 001 or MI6, just bear with me a moment, or you'd go MI6 AD001 or whatever your naming convention is. So you want to straight away name your server. So we're not going to do that right now. I'm just showing you a demonstration of what to do. You want to change that for two reasons. One, because the DNS results, you want to be querying the DNS by its proper name, and secondly, it just looks a hell of a lot more tidier. And obviously it's easier for people to remember. So anyway, want to change the computer name, you leave it as work group at the moment, because remember we haven't set up this server as a domain controller. It's just purely a standalone server which has no services on it. Well, it has services on it at the moment, but we haven't configured anything. So you want to change the computer name. Okay, let's assume that's done. And yeah, we can go on to, you're going to then have to reboot your server obviously. You're going to then want to do all of the Windows updates. So just get the server fully updated with all the maintenance and security patches. And that's really it, guys. That we can then go on to either join the computer as a server in the domain. So if you already have a domain controller set up and you're already in a domain, you'll obviously go to change and then join the server to domain. Or if you want to create this server as a domain controller, we'll start adding roles in the next video, and I'm going to show you guys how to go about that and how to set it up properly, and generally what the terms and some of the terms Windows uses, some of the terms Microsoft uses, sorry. So yeah, I'm going to go through all of those. I'm going to set this up as a domain controller in this instance. We're going to run through adding various roles, various features, explaining them, etc. So stay tuned for the next video, and if you have any comments, leave them in the comment section below. Thanks guys.